Let us talk to perhaps the most talked about MMA fighter on the planet right now. What a performance, what a weekend, what a fight week for him, and what a subsequent several days for him in the aftermath of his incredible fight on Saturday in Dubai against Usman Nurmagomedov. He is the pride of Derry. He is the pride of Ireland. He is the one and only big news. Paul Hughes, kind enough to join us. Paul, it's great to see you. Thank you very much for doing this. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure, bro. Always an honor to be here.
Congratulations on an incredible fight, an incredible performance. You said everything and you backed it up and then some. Usually I like to work in chronological order, but just as a sort of, entry into our conversation here, can you even put into words what life has been like for you since Saturday? Because I feel like so much has changed in your life as a result of that fight, despite it not going your way.
Yeah, it's everything's changed, bro. Everything's changed. The magnitude of Saturday night was obviously miles ahead of anything before. And then the aftermath, and then obviously recent things. So it's been crazy, bro. It's been crazy. Life is a whirlwind at the minute. It really is. But I'm trying my best to kind of take it in. But I'm feeling very good. I'm very, very blessed for sure.
Okay, so that last line, very important. You're feeling very good, and I'm delighted to hear that. Do you feel? Obviously, it was heartbreaking to see your reaction in the cage as the results were announced. You fall to your knees. We share your pain. You were so close to realizing your dream. Do you feel better about Saturday, or is it still too raw, too fresh?
No, I mean, to be honest, I kind of felt better instantly after kind of watching it back. For me, it's always the most important thing is actually just watching it back after, because, on the night, I obviously clearly thought that I won. My team obviously thought that I won, especially because of how I ended the fight as well. I thought, okay, this is a given. It's mine. So it hurt a lot at the time. But look, when I watched it back, I seen, like, it was obviously a close fight. Any close fight in MMA can go either way. I really thought that I won. And I still think that I won.
Have you had a chance to rewatch the fight?
I have, yeah. Sorry, am I lagging behind there? It's just, or is it
Yeah,
just my
no, yeah.
screen?
There's a little bit. Sometimes this happens. Do you hear me? It's coming
Yeah,
in and out.
perfect.
Okay, yeah. There's a couple of times where it's kind of lagging, but I'm cool with it. It happens all the time.
Yeah, okay. What did you say? Did I get to watch it?
Yeah. Have you had a chance to watch it? And if so, when you're watching it, are you scoring it? And what do you think the proper score should have been?
I need to watch it back again. So I only watched it like directly after the fight, as in that night, and then maybe the next day. Um, Look, I the thing to me, right, that I think that most people are missing, like, there's been a lot of debate over the scorecards and how in each individual round was scored, and obviously it was a varying between all the scorecards. So yes, people are going to debate that, but less people are talking about the momentum change of the fourth round when we clashed heads.
Hmm.
Usman was about to break. I was about to get him out of there. That was that point of the fight where he was going all the way down, and I knew, and I was waiting for this opportunity. I had spent 3 rounds breaking him down, making the reads, and getting him exactly where I needed him to be to finish him. I was folding him over almost folding him over at the end of the third round. Coming out for the fourth, I knew I had his number. And I felt it in the cage when I was ripping him to the body. I could feel his energy and his spirit break, and I knew I had him. And the headbutt happened, and he got about 5 minutes of recovery time. And that momentum change was the reason that I didn't finish him, because I know for a fact that for round 4 or 5, he was done. There was absolutely no chance he would have had the energy to get me down or keep me down. And there was no question that I was going to empty the tank at punches towards his head and body, that one of them would have put him out cold or one of them would have finished him to the body. There is no question, absolutely zero. That's why I'm also so excited to fight him again, because I know I have his number. I probably just didn't do enough early. I scored round 1 definitely for him. Round 2, I think maybe one of the judges gave them to me. I can't recall. I need to look back. Everyone's been moving so fast. But
Here are the scorecards, by the way.
was there any round two for me there? Yeah, there was one. So maybe I didn't put enough pressure on him early, but I know for a fact, Ariel, that he was done. Like I know I would have got him out of there, and I think that that's maybe not what people are talking about enough as to like him being able to get energy back and just withstand and stay alive in the fifth round, essentially. Um, that's kind of how when I'm thinking and assessing the fight, that's what I'm thinking about right now. Not like individual scoring rounds, because obviously the scorecards were bullshit. There was absolutely zero chance that it was 4-1. I think everybody is in agreement with that. But yeah, that's where my head's kind of at with it.
By the way, just curious, in that moment during that 5 minute break, are you getting antsy, thinking like I have him on the ropes, so to speak, and I need to get back out there? Like, are you dying inside there?
If you could only see, and I'm sure that there are a lot of cameras with this kind of footage of what I'm walking around the cage and saying to people, I'm seeing Don Davis, and I'm going, I could give me 5 more rounds with him. I was like, I want to fight him again. I'm talking to people saying, let me at him again. I'm saying he's fucked. I'm looking at people and going, he's getting out of there now. And I'm staring at Usman and he won't even look at me. And Habib is kind of like saying, chill, chill, chill. And I'm just standing. And that's when like the viral clip of me with the blood or the photos and all, that's just me staring at him going like, he's done. Like, I'm going to get him now, because his spirit was broke and he just had enough time to get his energy back, to survive a fourth round and then just survive a fifth. But it was, yeah, a game of true inches. You know, the fifth round again, I overthrew a shot. He got behind me and he held me for 2 minutes, just doing nothing, just kneeing my hole. Like I'm saying to him, let's fight, let's fight. And the crowd's going mad because he's kneeing me. Like there's nothing going on there, but he's just surviving. But anyway, that's my thoughts on it. Like my general thoughts on it is I'm happy. I'm not like insanely disappointed, because I know the rematch it's got to be next, and I know that I will beat him in the rematch, absolutely zero question. So I'm feeling pretty good about it all.
By the way, there was someone on Twitter, it might have been Andy Stevenson or one of the other great Irish journalists out there, who put together a compilation of all your switches through the years, dating back to the Cage Warriors days. This is phenomenal stuff, Paul. Who gets the credit for this? Who taught you this? Because you were putting that on display on Saturday against, the vaunted Nurmagomedovs who take everyone down and keep them there with the Dagestani handcuffs and all this stuff. And you were flowing. We don't see European fighters look like that on the mat, usually when you're going up against a Dagestani. Who taught you this from the early days?
Look, it's very simple. It's Patrick McAllister. It's my head coach, Pat. I mean, he's been kind of my secret weapon. Maybe not so secret anymore after this. But Pat is without a question the best grappling for MMA coach in the planet. I've said it for a very, very long time. Now people can believe me or see where I'm coming from because of my performance on Saturday. You're seeing how I'm moving. That's just not something you pick up without being taught. That's Patrick McAllister and I've been with him for a very, very long time. A name that people in the worldwide scene won't know now, but they surely will know in the future. So that's all Pat.
You guys did a tremendous job of building this fight up. So did PFL, in my opinion. And I thought you, in particular, with all the stuff you were doing here in the States and then over in Dubai, that face-off that you guys had, the sound up of you saying to him, like, you're looking past me, you're overestimating me or underestimating me. And then his response saying, who are you? And then your response back exactly it was class. It was phenomenal stuff. And so I'm just wondering, what made you feel like he was looking past you? Why did you feel that way? He ended up agreeing with you and admitted afterwards that he was in fact doing so. But why did you feel that way in the moment?
Well, look, it's just the things that he was saying. The interview clips that I was seeing on my socials, the things that I was seeing from the production side of what he was saying. I can tell when somebody's playing the game for marketing, and I can also tell when someone's completely overlooking me. And I knew there was glimpses of him overlooking me. And then when I seen him on fight week and we were doing these kinds of things, I felt the energy. I felt like he was looking down on me. I felt like he was just like this kid's just got a little opportunity. He's gonna be. He was saying things like he's gonna be famous for one day and everyone will forget about him. And then when we done the face off, I could just tell he was like looking down on me, and I knew that that was going to be his mistake. And then, as we've seen, then what happened and what he said after, it was the truth. But he certainly won't overlook me in the rematch, and I feel like the rematch is going to be even better of a fight.
The vibe that I got from him in the post fight interview was almost of relief. Like he knew he got away with one. Like the way he was speaking and saying you were. Did you feel that same way?
Ariel, you have no idea how lucky that he was to have that headbutt in fourth round. Like this was why I've spent so much time talking about it there. It's like it was the reason he survived, and he's now playing this like, oh, Paul needs three, or he said he needs 3 or 4 fights to get back to the belt. What does that indicate to me? That indicates to me that he's like, I do not want to see this guy again for a long time. And why would he? I've got his number. I'm a terrible stylistic matchup for him. I was nearly folding him over to the body many a times. So many, like, to be fair to Usman, he is good at not getting hit, because I must have winged so many knockout punches that just missed his face. And I'm telling you, one of them connects, as we've seen before, it's over. But he will not get so lucky next time. Trust me on that.
So he says 3 to 4 right after the fight. Do you think PFL agrees with him? Do you think they're actually going to listen to this? I think they would be absolutely foolish, out of their minds, to not try to run this back right away. It's the biggest fight. It's the best fight in PFL history. It's one of the best fights in Bellator history, if we want to include that as well. It was incredible theater, and the second one proves to be even better, in my opinion, given the fact that you know each other and it's going to be this chess match. Do you think they'll listen to him, or are you confident that they're going to run it back?
Look, they have to run it back. Like, I mean, there's you. How couldn't you? How couldn't you run it back? Like, I know Usman has mentioned isn't he's not going to want to. He's going to at least try to get as much time as he can until that happens, because he wants to, I guess, hold on to the belt. He did say, I think he doesn't want to fight to the end of the year, which is, it's too far away. This has the momentum of this. It has to happen soon. Obviously, I wanted to be in Belfast. Whether or not that happens, I don't know. But if he's not gonna fight to the end of the year, then I have to get somebody in Belfast in like the summertime. That would be the only thing that would keep me sane right now.
What have the brass said to you or your management about this? Like, what sense are you getting from them?
Nothing yet. Like, usually at this kind of point, fair play to Tim. Tim's always kind of like, look, take a week and just enjoy these things, because how we're wired is always moving forward. As you know, you're always looking to improve. So immediately I'm thinking, I want to do this, I want to do that. Usually he's like, look, let's give yourself a week and then we'll plan. So we'll take it from there after a week, I'd say.
I saw the interaction between the two of you backstage, where you say in Belfast and he says in Dubai. And then you're like, no, no, in Belfast. He's like, no, no, in Dubai. Do you think there's any scenario in which he goes to Belfast?
Um, Only for the trilogy, I would say. Only for the trilogy. Because at the end of the day, it's a big advantage for them to fight in Dubai. I think the scorecards kind of do reflect that. Obviously, it's kind of more home territory to a degree for them in terms of support, in terms of having 50 guys from Dagestan backstage. So, yeah, maybe for the trilogy we'll do Belfast, but I don't know. I'm obviously going to push for it now.
Yeah. Would you be okay with if they say you're getting him again, but it has to be in the Middle East, it has to be in Dubai? Are you okay with this?
Yeah, look, damn right. I just need to fight the man, because next time I won't be going to the scorecards. Like, I need to make sure of that. So wherever it's at, it's at.
You've only felt this feeling once before, and that was a very close fight back in 2020. How are you dealing with, just the sensation of not getting your hand raised?
Honestly, very well. I mean, my initial emotion was obviously disappointment. My team were just devastated. I was devastated as to how devastated they were
Yeah.
because my brothers, like, honestly, look, I had a couple of cans of Guinness that night. I sat down with everyone. We kind of watched it back a bit, and I was like, right, look, game of inches. game of inches. I wish I had the belt right now, and I wish I was on that champion's contract, which is a lot more money. But I've done a hell of a lot here in the last 7 months since my first fight. Although it's not a case of, a lot of people are saying to me, oh, very short period of time, you've done so much. Usman, it shows that you're that level to be at the elite. And I'm just like, I know what I know I am. I should have beat him. Like I should be the champ right now. So that's still annoying. But now as the weeks went on, I'm kind of just like, look, I get the rematch him at the end of the day. I get the right, the wrong, and that's what matters to me right now. And that's why when it comes Monday, like I'll be back in the MMA gym in Belfast, and that'll be me like as locked in as ever, making sure that this never happens again.
Just curious, did anyone before the fight or even after explain to you what you were fighting for? Because like, is Usman the PFL champion now? If you guys fight again, would it be for a belt? It's still a little bit unclear as to what happens now with him and the other champions going from Bellator to PFL.
Well, I was kind of hoping that they would do a new PFL belt for our fight,
Yeah.
but obviously it was marketed as a Bellator title fight. My understanding is like that's the last Bellator fight, so it would only make sense that either he is promoted to the PFL champion or our next fight is for the first ever PFL Champion Series belt.
Okay.
Or the first ever belt. I don't know. That's me speculating,
Yeah.
I guess.
No. I think it should have been for the PFL title, or he just becomes PFL champion and sort of like when the WEC guys came over to the UFC, Aldo, Cruz, they just became UFC champions. Ronda Rousey became UFC champion.
Kind of thought, this fight's big enough that you don't need to add anything more to it. Mm-hmm. Whereas, the next fight, having a new belt could like just make it go next level. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, it makes total sense. This is the best that they could put on of any division, any weight class, any two fighters, and you guys are homegrown, if you will. You're not former UFC fighters coming over. You're one of their own. So it's amazing. When you see the love that you're getting from the likes, veterans are coming out, Dustin Poirier, guys like that are coming out showing you love and praise in the immediate aftermath. Everyone was tweeting about the fight, writing about the fight. Does that make the pain go away? Does that make you feel any better, or is that just kind of empty because you didn't accomplish what you wanted to?
Oh no, it's certainly a nice thing for sure. And obviously in my mind, it's like, yeah, they should be tweeting because I'm the new champ.
Yeah.
But it's certainly a cool thing, Ariel. It's been a very quick thing for me, for my life to be totally changing and for me to be on this pedestal. I obviously wouldn't be in this position if I didn't believe I was that guy, but it's still cool for sure.
Hey there, sorry to interrupt. Just want to remind you, if you haven't already, please do hit that subscribe button. We would appreciate it very much. And while you're at it, give us a thumbs up too. We've got live shows, interviews, clips, and a whole lot more going on this here channel. All right, now back to the show. You alluded to this earlier. It's been a whirlwind since Saturday, and as recently as this morning. And so I understand this is a very sensitive topic for you. What's transpired with Conor and this clip coming out of you talking to them and his tweets that have been deleted and your response, which I thought was very classy as well. What if anything do you want to say about this? Because I've seen you receive a lot of support from other Irish fighters. Irish fans seem to all have your back. And I understand that there's history involved here and there's politics and there's a lot at play here. So I just want to give you the opportunity to respond if you'd like to.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, I appreciate how you've kind of addressed that as being a sensitive thing and I can speak about it how I want. It's actually not like I wasn't offended at all. And, now a lot of people in Ireland, especially in the north of Ireland, will be like, couldn't be any more deeply offended as the thing he said. But I'm not actually offended or didn't take it personally at all because it sounds bad, but it just seems like it's another day in his life of being just tweeting madness. It's not like I seen that and went, oh, I can't believe he said this about me. I think it's just another day in the life for him. And I just don't hold weight to his opinion anymore as to these sorts of things. And it's kind of a sad thing to say that, but that's actually just the reality of how I felt. In fact, I kind of just laughed at it when I seen it. It's not something I've been thinking about all day and going, oh, this and my identity and this and that. It's like, yeah, initially I was like, don't come with my identity. Like, that's ridiculous. But then I was just like, this guy, he's on one, like, and I just don't care, you know. But yeah.
I appreciate that. I know you've always spoken very highly of him and shown him respect as recently as a couple of months ago, right? And so I was wondering if there was any part of you that felt, I don't know, let down or just kind of bummed out about it all, because I know this is someone that you've looked up to in the past.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I mean, I've always paid Conor homage at every opportunity. I'll always say that he's the greatest to ever do it. Always will. I would say always believe that. But nah, man, it honestly just it didn't really bother me coming from him because it just I don't hold that much weight to what he says anymore, which is, as I say, kind of a sad thing.
If he apologized, would you accept it?
Um, Not right now, anyway. Not right now.
I understand.
More so not for me, but more so for my people. You know, from where I come from, what he said. I mean, like it. I only kind of realized, like before I came in the show, I was scrolled Twitter and stuff. Probably not a good idea. I kind of just realized, like, it's actually one of the worst possible things that you could say to a fellow Irishman. Like in terms of how deeply insulting it can be to someone personally. Now, as I said, I didn't take it. I don't take much weight to it. I don't take it deeply personal. But people from my area certainly will.
Hmm.
You know, like where I come from, Derry. Derry has a I don't even know how to describe it. Like a very tumultuous history when it comes to Irish history. It's a very important place where a lot of important things has happened, and it would be incredibly and deeply insulting to a lot of people where I'm from to say that we're not Irish. But I'll not get into history, but I've told you my thoughts on how I felt about it. I could easily have just went off on one Ariel and just came on here and said this and that and this, but I just don't really care about what he says, and that's kind of sad.
Much respect. I appreciate that. One last thing on this topic. Did you know you were being filmed in that moment in the cage? I saw this YouTube clip come out from Anatomy of a Fighter, and I guess they're working with PFL. I know they're very close to that team, and I'm not insinuating that there was any sort of foul play, but I know this is a private moment that you're sharing, and it's a very, it's a sensitive one, right? Did you know that this was being filmed and that
Personally,
this would come out?
I didn't know it was being filmed, and I didn't know it was coming out. And to be honest, when I woke up this morning and I seen it, I think something like that's a very delicate thing. And firstly, when I seen it, I was kind of to myself, I was like, the way you're saying that, like the way I referred to Connor as that guy, or what was it I said?
I think this
The
guy,
other,
because
the
Habib
other
referred to him as the other. Yeah.
exactly. So I mean, I didn't even remember this happening. Obviously, I just fought 5 rounds. It's just ended. I can remember I'm talking to many people's. This is a short clip. There was a lot more going on than just this short clip. So when I seen that just that little bit went out, I thought, that's that's a why put that out? Just why not the rest of the conversation, or why not what he was saying to me, or why not anything else? I think I think they knew what they were doing there 100%, and I kind of wasn't all right with that because I do know that they have to heavily proof everything with the Russian side. Yet they didn't come to us with anything. I'm not making excuses. I mean, I that's what I said. As I say, my initial thoughts were like, why'd you say it like that, Paul? As in, like that other guy, kind of sounds like a dickhead thing to say. But at the end of the day, I was just being honest in that moment. Like I am my own man, as you well know. Like I'm my own person. I'm just trying to be me. Like I don't want like I'm creating my own story here. I'm doing my own thing. So it just the initial way it came across, I was like, oh, that doesn't sound good. But at the end of the day, like it's what can I do about it? You know, it's after a fucking 5 round fight. It's
Mhm.
just a small thing that's been clipped up. And yeah, it just is what it is. Like
What do you think the reception will be like back home? You said you're going to be back at the gym on Monday. I think you're not home quite yet, but I feel like they're going to throw a parade in your honor when you get back home. What do you think it's going to be like?
I don't know. I haven't really thought about it to be honest. I'm still out in Dubai here at the minute, just chilling. I don't know. It's gonna be cold at home. That's all I know. So I'm trying to stay out here as long as I can. I haven't thought about it, bro. I guess things are gonna be pretty different now as to just how much this fight has. transcended anything I've done before. And then now, obviously, this shit that's happened today.
Yeah.
There's be a lot going on. Like,
Yes, I can't imagine what life is like right now. Just curious, I mentioned, and we'll let you go in a moment. I mentioned the interaction backstage with Usman. Was there anything that we didn't see that was said between you and the team, you and him, other than that, brief 1 minute clip that's been out there?
quite a few things said.
Oh, really?
Both sides. I mean, if he was to clip up some things, some of the respectful things that I was getting said, maybe he didn't want to make them look soft or too respectful, but like none of that went out. Just
Yeah.
the wee clip of then that guy. But here, this is the game, Ariel, isn't it? That's I need to be aware of these things now, the position that I'm putting myself into. Anything that I say can be taken out of context, as you well know. Anything can be anything can just be flipped, but it's kind of just this is a really good learning experience for me now because there's something that like I don't even remember. It was just a one thing I said after a 5-round fight. It was all respectful. I was just saying I'm my own man. There was nothing crazy said, but that little thing has now sparked a fucking war in Ireland and other war between Habib and Conor in Ireland and Dagestan. Well, more so Habib and Conor, but it just goes to show you yeah, it's just the game, isn't it?
Yeah. When you got back to your phone and saw that the clip was out there of him saying 3 or 4 more after all the mutual respect, are you like, what's changed here? Like, it seemed like you guys are talking about the next fight, and then it's like, nah, he needs to fight 3 or 4 more.
I think that's just reality and kicking in and going, yeah, I need time, or I don't want to fight this guy again. Like Errol, like that man was. I had him there folded over them body shots a couple of times. They are not nice, and the pressure I was putting on him, he and he could barely get me down. He couldn't hurt me. Look, it's the rematch it's gonna be a big one. It's gonna be different level.
Last thing, we had Dan Hooker on the show on Monday, and he was singing your praises as well, and he said that he was really surprised to kind of hear what Usman was saying in the aftermath, and he feels like it sort of alludes to the fact that maybe the aura, the myth around this team is sort of dissipating, that in the past people were defeated before ever actually competing against them just because of their presence and aura. Do you share that sentiment? Do you understand where he's coming from? And do you think that you have contributed to that? We saw what happened to his brother the week before against Merab, and then this performance. Do you feel like there is something to that?
Not real. I mean, I never thought of them in that way. So it doesn't really relate to me that much. What he's saying there. Maybe there's some fighters out there. There is some fighters out there that they just automatically assume that they're different gravy. I've never believed that, and I think I showed that on Saturday. I mean, for a lot of people, I had no right to be in there, even with Usman. But a lot less fights, a lot less experience. But I went in and showed that if you've got the right game plan, if you're damn good enough, if you're fit enough, if you're game enough, like you can take any of these guys out. So just need to get him next time, Ariel. Just need to get him next time.
Paul, you're a pleasure to cover and to watch in the cage, out the cage. You're all class. It's a real pleasure to get to know you and to watch you flourish as a fighter in person. So congratulations. I remember you were when the first time we met in studio, you said you had someone in mind, and a lot of people probably would have scoffed at the idea of a debutante into the promotion calling out Usman. 2 fights later, you get him and you take him to the brink. So, what a stretch. And that was less than a year ago. It's not like we're talking 5 years. So what a 10-month stretch for you, my friend.
That was, I think, was that April? That was probably May.
It was late April, yeah.
On your show. Crazy.
And look at you now. What is that? That's 8 months ago. It's unbelievable. So I hope that you get that fight. And by the way, if you don't, when do you want to fight again? Like when are we going to see Paul Hughes fight again?
I mean, if it's not Usman, it's got to be Belfast. I have to drag them there. 9,000 people, SSE Arena. That's literally has been #1 on my list for mixed martial arts career. Probably #1 in my life right now. That's something I've been aiming towards for years. I could get to do that this summer. I really, really hope that we can get it done.
Okay, well, hope you get the rematch first. If not, that would be a nice consolation. Thanks for doing this. I know it's late over there in Dubai, and well done on answering some tough questions with grace and class. So thanks so much, Paul. Really appreciate it.
always my pleasure to be on here, Ariel. Don't take it for granted.
Thank you, Paul. All the best and safe travels home.
Appreciate it, bro. Speak soon.
Yes, sir. There he is. Big news, who made some massive news on Saturday, who is now the talk of the sport. I don't, how can I put it? I don't envy the spot that he's in, given who, Conor is in the country and everything that comes with comments like that or some sort of conflict, friction like that. But man, masterclass, speaking from the heart, not shying away, not making things any worse. He's getting a ton of support. He doesn't have to worry about that. But I will say, I do feel for him because, as he put it, and I brought it up before the show, you're in that moment, you're talking, you're saying things, emotions are very high. You've just shared 25 minutes with your opponent. You now have a bond, and we see interactions all the time. We see interactions all the time between people, and then the tone changes afterwards. This is not new, but that's a big. They knew what they had on their hands with that clip, 1,000%. And he's not shying away from it. But I thought his answer about it, about that part being put in and other parts not being put in, was interesting as well. So this is the game. As he said, he's learning. He's getting to be put on a big stage. Things are said, but I appreciate him not kind of making it into a bigger deal, and I appreciate him handling those questions with, like I said, grace and class. So kudos to Paul Hughes, and very curious to see how they handle things. They need to make that fight. They haven't quite. I mean, it's only been 4 days. They haven't quite set it in stone. I don't think they would set it in stone this soon, but to me, that's the fight to make. Back in Dubai, obviously, would make a ton of sense from a business perspective. Did you see that crowd? It was unbelievable. But anywhere, I would say, in Europe, in Ireland, I don't see. And again, credit to Paul. He's realistic. He doesn't see him going over to Belfast for the rematch, but as he said, for the trilogy, perhaps, alluding to the fact that if he wins, he'll be able to call the shots. He's handling all this beautifully. So well done to him. We're big fans, and I hope we get to see that fight. And kudos to both men. It was a tremendous fight. It's to me the best fight in PFL history and one of the best in Bellator history as they turn the chapter to their new era. Thanks for watching this video. Before you go, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for us. Also, give us a thumbs up, leave a nice comment. These things go a long way. And while you're here, do check out the rest of the channel. We've got live shows and full interviews, clips, and a whole lot more. We're doing big things here, and we appreciate your support very much.